From the Samsung Production Studios in the heart of Hazleton, Pennsylvania, it's your News 13.
Brought to you by SSPTV and the Standard Speaker.
The campaign is ending. The voting machines are in place and all systems are go in Luzerne, Schuylkill, and Carbon counties. Getting ready for the primary election. Our top story on News 13 for this Monday. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Kathy Basinski. Tomorrow is primary election day. Polls open bright and early, 7 in the morning, and close at 8 p.m. Matthew Petrillo headed to Schuylkill County today, where he says all systems are go.
So I'm going to vote here.
Showing News 13 a demo of how to work the ballot box, Franny Brennan says she expects larger crowds to come to the polls tomorrow. The warm temperatures won't give people an excuse to shy away, and she's also trying to make it easier to vote. Schuylkill County recently introduced touchscreen voting, which previous voters in the county should already be familiar with. Now she's adding a new element to that: stylus pens.
I hope it makes voting easier for them, because sometimes if they hit the screen and they hit it with a nail, it doesn't work. Or if they don't hit it with the right part of their finger, it won't work, and you're tapping. This should make life a little easier for you.
Schuylkill County has more than 84,000 registered voters. Republicans make up the majority of those registered, with about 47% of the vote. Only registered Democrats and Republicans can vote in tomorrow's primary. And best to do your homework tonight. There's a handful of positions up for election.
Supervisor, mayor, tax collector, council, and school board.
Now, poll workers have directed from the state to ask for voters' photo ID. If you don't have an ID and you voted before, that's totally okay. You can still cast a ballot. If you haven't voted before and you don't have your photo ID, you can still cast a provisional ballot.
They're asking to show it. If you're a first-time voter in the precinct, it is required. First-time voters are always required to show their ID.
Now, local elections often have smaller turnouts compared to national elections, but Brennan says voting is every citizen's patriotic duty.
Every election is important, not only local elections, they're all important. Okay? You choose who your government leaders are by going to vote on election day.
If you need a ride to your polling location or you want to know where the closest place to cast your ballot is, just give a call to your respective party's political committee. Their numbers are on our website, SSPTV.com. And don't forget to register for the municipal general election in November. That begins Wednesday. Matthew Petrillo, News 13, Pottsville.
And News 13 and SSPTV will present Your Vote 2013, featuring live coverage starting when the polls close at 8 p.m. tomorrow night. Our panel of election analysts will provide the latest numbers as well as insights and projections throughout the evening, focusing on local elections at Luzerne, Carbon, and Schuylkill counties, as well as countywide races of interest. Your Vote 2013, starting at 8 p.m. election night, right here on SSPTV. Well, across the United States, nearly 2,200 children and teens go missing every day. The Hazleton unit of the Guardian Angels took part in a nationwide effort to bring awareness to the problem. In Hazleton, the Guardian Angels partnered with Peas in Their Pod to hold the first annual Honk for Missing Persons, an effort to promote National Missing Children's Day. The Guardian Angels stood at the intersection of Church and Broad Streets from 11:30 until 1 o'clock on Saturday, holding signs asking drivers to honk for those currently missing. Some of the signs also featured people who are missing from our area.
We have some postal boards up for missing kids, the kids that are missing, whether it be in the area or in other parts of the city or the states or the country. We're basically making the residents aware of these kids that are missing, that go missing.
Now, this event took place all across the country, including Baltimore, Atlanta, and Chicago. The Guardian Angels hope that this becomes an annual event to raise more awareness. Also on Saturday, dozens of members of the professional group Hazleton Power took this to the streets to spruce up downtown. Members grabbed shovels and brooms and trash bags and scoured the Broad Street corridor and cross streets like Laurel and Wyoming, picking up trash and cleaning up any dirt and grime that might have built up over the winter months. Power is dedicated to making downtown Hazleton a more attractive place, and just a few weeks ago it held a day-long paint out to eliminate graffiti in the area. Well, some area Girl Scouts were hard at work over the weekend, making sure that those who served our nation received a proper salute on Memorial Day. As Stephanie Gorney tells us, they took on some respectful tasks at a local cemetery.
Flags now blow in the wind on select graves to honor those who have fought in the military long ago. This is a tradition that was started in 1868 when a Civil War general asked troops to decorate the graves of fallen soldiers with flags. It's a tradition that's still being kept up by the Girl Scouts.
We are trying to put up the flags wherever we see like the star. That means we put the flag on it. That means they were in the military.
The Vine Street Cemetery has been decorated with flags for over 60 years, and about 1,000 flags are spread out over the 12 acres of land. Veterans believe that it is important for younger children to get involved because they are the ones who are going to continue this honoring.
Well, because of the fact that we only could do it so long, and we're getting older, and we are trying to have the younger ones carry on the tradition.
Some of the Girl Scouts who participated in Saturday's events helped out before and came back to participate in this long-standing tradition.
Well, it feels good, yeah.
Why does it feel good?
Well, we're respecting our people who died in the military.
Rebecca and all the other Girl Scouts can't wait for next year to help honor those who died for our country. Stephanie Gorney, News 13, Hazleton.
And still ahead on News 13, a showery but very warm election day on tap. We'll tell you how high the temperature will rise coming up in News 13 weather. But first, a local hospital admits one unusual patient, but we'll tell you how the staff will benefit from his stay when News 13 continues. One patient at the Hazleton General Hospital is making quite a stir and blazing some trails at the same time. Christina Papa spoke with nurses today as they checked his vital signs this morning.
He's checked into Hazleton General Hospital and he's got a pretty bad cough. But something is a little different about this hospital guest.
This is our simulation man. His name right now is Sim Man. We're going to eventually hold a contest to give him a proper name.
The simulation mannequin, or Sim Man, is the latest teaching tool for nurses and staff members here at HGH. The mannequin that was given to the hospital by their risk management company in late March gives nurses the chance to deal with real-life situations without working with a real patient.
The equipment is the same, and the idea is that they would basically play act or do all of their training here so that we know that they're good and delivering appropriate quality care to our patients.
Hazleton General Hospital's Donna Laporte says the nurses were shocked when they saw how lifelike Sim Man really is.
They're just amazed that Sim Man can actually be as close to reality life as he is.
Director of Education Michelle Kasich checked his pulse this morning as she showed off Sim Man's realistic traits to other business faculty.
He can have a blood pressure, he's got pulses. We can listen to his lungs, his heart, his abdomen for bowel sounds. So he really is like a real person.
All of the mannequin sounds and movements are controlled by this machine, so teachers can create real-life scenarios just by the click of a button.
Typically, mannequins don't have a voice, but luckily this Sim Man is able to express how he feels to the nurses. So Sim Man, how do you feel?
I don't feel well.
Sim Man helps learning come to life. That's why Michelle is looking forward to introducing Sim Man to the rest of the hospital staff.
We're one of the few hospitals in the area that have him. We're just excited to have him. He is our best teaching tool that we have, because now we know beyond a doubt that the staff are doing exactly what they should be doing and doing it correctly. And that's what it's all about.
Christina Papa, News 13, Hazleton.
That's pretty wild. Time now for our regional weather from the National Weather Service. Checking the radar, cloudy day, not that much happening, maybe a stray shower here or there. Things are going to intensify, though, as we move on through the week. Our creative edition, absolutely adorable. It's by Casey Kilker, a student at Valley Elementary, and she and her BFF are outside in the sunshine, and they are so styling in their bright pink and purple outfits. Now let's take a look at News 13 weather from the National Weather Service for Greater Hazleton for tonight. Mostly cloudy with a low around 61 degrees. And for Tuesday, Election Day, partly sunny, slight chance of showers and thunderstorms through the afternoon, but a high 81 big degrees. It's about time. Chance of showers and thunderstorms at night with a low only down to 64. And heading to Schuylkill County tonight, a chance of showers through the evening. There will be patchy fog overnight, though. Be careful. A low around 60. And for Tuesday, patchy fog in the morning, burning off to a partly sunny day with a chance of afternoon showers and thunderstorms. A high all the way up to 83. Chance of showers and thunderstorms overnight with a low around 62 degrees. Well, despite the not so nice weather this weekend, people still came out to enjoy some great food, entertainment, and just have a good time. There was lots to do at the Hazel Township Community Park on Saturday as the Hazelton Unico held its annual Bell'Italia Festival. People from all ethnicities came out to taste all the best Italian food in the area. There was fried dough, meatballs, pizza, cannoli, and different soups as well, and folks were able to enjoy the food with the swinging sounds of Frank Sinatra in the background. There was also the opportunity to enjoy a game or two of bocce. For the kids, there were plenty of sweet treats and even pony rides. This event has turned into such a huge celebration of Italian heritage as well as the arrival of the summer season.
We figure that by this time of year, everybody has cabin fever. They want to get out. It's springtime. They want to get outside, go to a festival, and this time seems to work for us.
And while the weather didn't always cooperate through the day, folks still enjoyed a little taste of Italy. And as you know, unfortunately, weather was a factor for a number of events which took place over the weekend. But as Mike Madry tells us, it wasn't enough to dampen the spirits or the sounds at one fundraiser for some local kids in need.
Chords for Kids is in its second year trying to place a positive impact in the Hazelton area. By holding an annual fundraiser, they are giving underprivileged youngsters a chance to participate at the Hazelton's YMCA Center.
Last year we were able to do it with 6 bands. This year we improved it to 7, and we're selling trick-or-treats and so forth. The event itself is held to raise money for the YMCA's youth sports programs to help with disadvantaged youth in our community.
Ann Kistler is another organizer in charge of putting together Sunday's event. She recognizes the importance of holding an event that will draw people, and her approach in organizing a 7-band concert was pretty simple. Make it for everybody.
I think the whole thing is having different kind of fundraisers in our community that people are going to enjoy. And I think doing something like this, I think we're going to get out a totally different crowd than what we usually do for like golf tournaments or runs or anything like that. And this is a lot of fun, and this is for like the whole family.
Chords for Kids hopes they can have a positive effect on the community. With crime rising in Hazelton, the organization hopes they can reach out to the younger kids and provide them with a positive atmosphere, provide an outlet for kids who may be less fortunate than others.
And the Y really needs the kids off the streets and in the Y to be able to have something to do so they're not getting in trouble.
Well, right behind me where all the action is going down, it's the second annual Kids for Chords benefits. Last year they were able to raise $2,300, and even though the weather's a little bit rainy, they're still hoping the turnout is even better. Kistler says they will continue to hold fundraisers every year, and once it's over, they will look at how they can improve and find better ways to provide underprivileged children positive outlets through the Hazelton YMCA. If you want any information, visit HazeltonYMCAYWCA.org. Mike Madry, News 13, West Hazelton.
And let's check the winning Midday Lottery numbers. Good luck if you play. The Daily 019, Big 4 0953, Quinto 05745, and the Treasure Hunt 11, 14, 18, 21, and 27. Hope you won.
Good evening, everyone, and here's tonight's Talk of the Town report. First tonight, the Nescopec State Park will be holding a Junior Bird Club Morning Bird Walk Saturday, June 1st at 7:30 a.m. The Junior Bird Club has a one-time fee of $5 and is open for all of kids, the ages 9 through 18. For more information or to register, please just call 570-403-2006. That's tonight's Talk of the Town. News 13 would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of these recently departed. Joseph D. Jacob of Mahanoy City. Arrangements will be announced by the David D. Jarrett Funeral Home. Marjorie Hussein of Hazel Township. Services will be held at the convenience of the family from the Rosenstock Funeral Home. Barbara G. Payton of Freeland. Private service will be held from the Laurel Cemetery. Roy A. Ted Moomey of Zion Grove. Funeral is Thursday at 11 a.m. in the Mount Zion Lutheran Church. Friends may call Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m. at the Stauffer Bresnick Funeral Home. And Carl Z. Zawatsky of Plain Township. Funeral will be Thursday at 8:45 a.m. from the Michael J. McCleskey Funeral Home. Friends may call Wednesday from 5 to 8 p.m. Tonight's obituaries have been brought to you by the Smilax Floral Shop located on 15th Street in Hazelton. For delivery to all local funeral homes, call 570-454-0111. And by Mia's. Once again, the Hazelton area's #1 rated restaurant. Call 570-501-3410 for information on luncheon packages.
SSPTV Sports on News 13. with Fred Barletta Jr. and Ron Marchetti.
Well, Hazleton area Cougars were meeting a very familiar foe in the opening round of the District 2 baseball playoffs, the Knights from Scranton High School, because they've met in each of the last 3 years. The problem is that every time the Cougars hook up against the Knights, it's the Knights who advance and the Cougars who go home. So this is what they were trying to put an end to on a Sunday afternoon at Rex Antidozzi Field. And let's go out there. Now, this game being played on Sunday because tonight Scranton is having their prom. There's no school in Lackawanna County tomorrow due to Election Day. So the game got bumped back, and early on, it looked like it was going to be anybody's game. Even though Scranton scored 2 early runs, the Cougars came right back with one of their own. That made it a very interesting 2-1 ball game going into the middle innings. Now, of course, as the Cougars got close, Scranton would put 2 more on the board, but the Cougars would come right back. And still, with Scranton leading 4-2, it seemed to be anybody's ball game. But the Knights would take advantage of some miscues in the field, and they would have some timely hitting on top of it. And when the score was put in the books with the final behind it, it would be Scranton once again. 8-4 would be the final. The Scranton Knights advance in the district tournament. They will next play Williamsport. That game will be Wednesday in Williamsport. Williamsport, the number 1 seed. The Cougars, meanwhile, they bow out of the tournament again in the early rounds here. They finish the season 10 up and 11 down, and not much you could say. Disappointment because you were hoping they could make a little bit of a run. Didn't happen. Now, the rest of the District 2 seeding, the way it looks, as we said, Williamsport playing Scranton in the other half of the bracket today. It's Delaware Valley and Wallenpulpack. Waiting in the wings is the number 2 seed, Wyoming Valley West. That game will be on Wednesday. Delaware Valley is the number 3 seed and the favorite in that. Meanwhile, today, over at MMI, it's Wyoming Seminary and the MMI Preppers, opening round of the Single A baseball. Meanwhile, Blue Ridge and Forest City will battle it out in Blue Ridge today, with Old Forge and Lackawanna Trail waiting on deck respectively. Softball, MMI and Blue Ridge, that one is going to be played today up at Blue Ridge. Winner gets Lackawanna Trail, and then Old Forge will wait and see the survivor of Susquehanna and Forest City. So the baseball in swing, playoff-wise, and the weather looks like it's going to cooperate all week. Now, Russ Kanzler has had back-to-back offers, so that makes his average goal down to 289. You know you're doing okay when you are 0 for 2 games in a row and you're still batting around that 290 mark, so not too bad. Kanzler had been swinging the bat very well. The Norfolk team wins 3-2. Now, they called up fellow outfielder Valencia to Camden Yards, so you're wondering, is there any chance that Kanzler could be next? Stay tuned. Kyle Land is still on the DL list. His Erie team 6-4 losers to Erie. The Rail Riders get derailed out in Columbus 10-4. And the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs got beat up 11-0 by the Rochester Red Wings. There's your schedule of what's going on today in minor league baseball. News 13 Sports is sponsored by Sand Springs, featuring a world-class golf course as well as celebrations, the area's most luxurious banquet and wedding facility.
Today is Victoria Day in Canada, and in the USA it's the Monday before Memorial Day Monday. Hi everybody, and welcome to Trivia Treats. Bobby Mercer, Yankee former outfielder and announcer, would have been 67 today. 59 years ago at this time in 1954, making his first appearance of the season, Ted Williams collected 8 hits in 9 at-bats during a doubleheader between the Red Sox and Tigers at Brick Stadium in Detroit. Williams had been out with a broken collarbone since the first day of spring training. Grimacing with every swing, he went 3 for 4 in the first game and 5 for 5 in the nightcap. But despite his heroics, the Tigers won both games. Williams finished that season with a .345 average and 29 homers in 117 games at the age of 36. Still, in my opinion, the greatest hitter who ever lived. 37 years ago yesterday, in 1974, the Philadelphia Flyers became the first expansion team in hockey to win the Stanley Cup, defeating the Boston Bruins 1-0 at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. Rick McLeish scored the lone goal, and Bernie Perron recorded the shutout. Known as the Broad Street Bullies for their aggressive style of play, the Flyers will repeat as NHL champions in 1975. Back to baseball. It was 56 years ago this weekend, in 1957, that an incident took place at the Copacabana nightclub in New York. Observing Billy Martin's 29th birthday, 6 New York Yankees, Hank Bauer, Mickey Mantle, Whitey Ford, Yogi Berra, Johnny Cooks, and Martin partied at the Copacabana beyond midnight. The revelry ended when Bauer was accused of slugging a patron. Bauer was later cleared of the charges, but the Yankees fined all 6 players for their roles in the disturbance, and they traded Martin to Kansas City a month after the incident. Even after Billy pleaded with Casey Stengel that he would play for half of his salary if he could only stay with the Yanks. The old professor's reply, "Mother of God, young man, you will be better off in KC, and so will we." Finally, staying with baseball, in fact, staying in that same week of that Copacabana incident in 1957, Yankee batter Gil McDougal hit a first-inning line drive that hit Cleveland pitcher Herb Score directly in the right eye. Score was a 23-year-old standout pitcher for the Indians in 1955, his rookie year, and in 1956 when he won 20 games. He was nowhere near as effective after that beating. He won 38 games in his first 2 seasons while striking out 547 batters in 512 innings with a 2.63 ERA. After his eye injury, Score compiled a 17-26 record in his last 7 years, calling it quits in 1962 at age 28. Till Friday, be a good sport and stay loose.
And plenty more news and information headed your way on News 13. County election bureaus all across our region putting the final touches on preparations for tomorrow's primary. That story and much more news when the 13 crew comes right back.